Hello and welcome back to Geeky Port, your safe harbor in the world of nerddom. I am your host, Jamie Horton, and with me is Maxie.
Hello.
And on today's episode, we're going to be exploring the genre of comedy, like what comedy is and why it makes us laugh, and also the different outlets for comedy. We'll explore it in terms of the stage, film, and television.
Neat.
So I guess we'll just jump into it.
Yes. Start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
Right. Who invented theater? The Greeks.
Opa.
And who is the father of comedy itself? But
Aristophanes. Yeah.
Not only did he invent humor, he invented, because there was just tragedy and people just didn't laugh back then, but he also invented blue humor.
Oh yeah, he invented the fart joke.
He invented the fart joke.
I was a classics major, and I had to read Aristophanes in ancient philosophy, and it was called Clouds, and it was just all farts and penis jokes.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, specifically Lysistrata, which takes place during the Peloponnesian War, and women go on a sex strike on both sides, the Spartans and the Athenians, to make sure that they just get so fed up that they like, you know what, this isn't worth it. We want to go back to our wives. So let's just end this war.
Abstain for peace. And it worked in that play.
Yeah,
not work ordinarily.
Not in a historical setting, but definitely like in fiction. So yeah, there's that. Certainly, there's other Greek comedies, but like early modern comedies, of which you are currently in rehearsal for A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Shakespeare.
So let's talk about the Shakespeare, who is also very influential in terms of comedy.
Yes.
And also, like, you know, maybe we'll do another show on tragedies, but for today's episode,
I'll be crying all day.
We'll talk about comedies, and let's talk about like Shakespeare's tropes.
Okay.
And what he went to as like these go-to humorous elements.
Typical, because I mean his big ones: Midsummer Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing, Twelfth Night, As You Like It. I think those, like, there are others. Basically, if no one died in the play, it was considered a comedy.
Right.
There are the problem plays too, like Merchant of Venice is considered a comedy because no one died. But in those, like the big four, there's usually cross-dressing, mistaken identity, fairies, tricking each other. Like Much Ado, they get tricked into like falling in love with each other because they're friends, and in Midsummer they get tricked.
And you'll know this specifically because you are playing Bottom, magical transformation, which is fun.
Get turned to a donkey.
Yeah, it's Midsummer Night's Dream, I think, is one of the more successful comedies because so much of the comedy has survived the centuries. You know, it is still funny. I think if you compare that to, I don't know, All's Well That Ends Well, you know, or...
no one cares about All's Well That Ends Well.
Yeah, it's just...
Unfortunately, or Two Gentlemen of Verona.
I'm sure it made people, you know, double over in laughter in the 1600s, where they're referencing like a particular individual or some kind of, you know, conflict or something, and it just doesn't translate 400 years later to, like, you know, in our case, like an American audience.
It's typically you need to know Greek mythology because they're like, well, by Jupiter's head, I would never in the battle of Circe and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, you kind of have, that's a very niche thing to know nowadays, but back then.
Yeah, and even though Midsummer Night's Dream takes place technically in ancient Greece, it's not limited to that. The humor is this kind of like humorous, unrequited love, and then, you know, people, spoilers, I guess, this 400-year-old play.
Too soon.
These lovers that go off into the woods drink this, or
They
are
have it
forced...
anointed on their eyelids.
Yes, love and idleness. The potion made from love and idleness, which is apparently this this flower, and it makes you fall in love with the next person that you see. So as you can imagine, the wrong people fall in love, and hilarity ensues. So, but there's also great opportunity for physical comedy, puns certainly. I'm sure Shakespeare didn't invent puns, but he definitely popularized them.
So many puns in Shakespeare. The first one that popped into my head wasn't even a comedy. It was from Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, okay.
If you shall check on me tomorrow, you shall find me a grave man.
Right.
Because Mercutio got stabbed. And he's like, oh, I'll be sad. Also, I'll be dead.
It's interesting that in the tragedies, there is a humorous character. Like in the Scottish play, there's the porter. In Romeo and Juliet, there's Mercutio.
Mm-hmm.
In Hamlet, there's the clown. That is the gravedigger. But yeah, in the comedies themselves, the comedy comes from the characters and their interactions.
Merry Wives is a good one, too.
Oh, yeah.
I like Merry Wives of Windsor. They tricked Falstaff because he tried to seduce both wives. But they found out, and so they're getting back at him.
Comeuppance seems to be a popular theme in Shakespeare's comedies.
Karma. It's beautiful.
Yep. What's the play with the cross-gartered stockings?
I think that's Twelfth Night.
Yeah, that's Twelfth Night, right. So
Malvolio.
Right, who is just rude to everyone that he meets. And being rude to the protagonists is, of course, a good way of getting the audience to hate this character in a playful way.
But is it like he thinks Olivia will like them?
Right.
Or like he gets a note like, oh, Olivia says I should wear these stockings.
Yeah,
I should do this.
Right, that kind of like false-fed information just so they can watch him make a fool of himself. Yeah, that's interesting.
They're pretty.
It's probably worth noting that in Shakespeare's comedies, there are a lot of, I don't know if this is by design or just the way it turned out, but I think some of the strongest female characters are in Shakespeare's comedies. Certainly As You Like It.
I mean, Beatrice is the first one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Beatrice and Much Ado.
Much Ado About Nothing. Right?
But I mean, Lady Mackie B in the play Mackie B. Not a theater, so I mean, we can... Macbeth. Lady Macbeth is one of the best female Shakespearean characters.
And we'll dive into more with her in our show, Tragedies.
Yeah, or just Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Beatrice, Olivia, Viola, Rosalind.
Sure.
All them.
Yep.
Very good characters.
Yeah, absolutely. So in wrapping up this segment about comedies on stage, do you have like a few that you'd like to rattle off, some of your favorites?
My favorite, well, especially with Broadway, thinking of Broadway, The Producers is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
The movie, it didn't translate too well to screen, but live, it's hilarious. And Book of Mormon.
For myself, I love Spam a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Little Shop of Horrors. Musicals we did a whole show about musicals. In fact, it was a two-parter.
Oh yeah.
But believe it or not, we've actually reached the end of our first segment. But don't go away. We're going to just take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to explore comedies in movies.
Whee!
The Cape Cod Theatre Company, Harwich Junior Theatre, has been a cornerstone of the Cape Cod community for over 7 decades. Each year, this multi-generational educational theater welcomes over 500 students in our classes, entertains thousands of patrons in our indoor and outdoor theaters, and hosts students from Provincetown to Sandwich for school day matinees. Our outreach programs also reach hundreds of students in local schools, along with the friends and family members who cheer them on. At the Cape Cod Theatre Company, Harwich Junior Theatre, our mission is to educate, empower, and inspire individuals of all ages and backgrounds to explore their creative talents, experience the magic of live theater, foster community, and nurture a lifelong appreciation of the performing arts. I'm Emily Murray, the Director of Education and Community Outreach. And throughout the decades that I've been involved at the Cape Cod Theatre Company, Harwich Junior Theatre, as a student, actor, teacher, director, and administrator, I have seen firsthand the transformative power of the performing arts and the innumerable ways our gem of a theater does indeed educate, empower, and inspire each person who comes through our doors. To continue making a difference in the lives of those in our community, we need your support. And there are countless ways to get involved. Audition for one of our shows, sign up for a class, or join a tech crew. You never know where the journey may lead you. Cape Cod Theater Company, Harwich Junior Theater is your theater. Come join us.
And welcome back to Geeky Port. I'm your host, Jamie Horton, and with me is Maxie.
Hey.
And we are going to be continuing our discussion about comedies. We just talked about theater, and now we're going to talk about comedies in film, in the motion picture industry.
The motion pictures, you say.
So yeah, I'm sure we both have our favorites. But let's talk about like what makes a good comedy in film.
Good writing, good timing, good setup and payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, smart, right? Like something can be like silly, but also smart at the same time.
Sure.
So
Yeah, those are my favorite types.
and going all in.
Yeah, and also with film, you have the advantage of like changing the shots. In theater, you have this ever-present wide shot, as it were, from the audience's perspective of the stage. So you really have to like play up, the physicality and whatnot, and the expressions and all that. But with film, you can get a close-up.
Well, even though in early comedies, they still didn't quite like figure out editing that well, because I'm a huge Marx Brothers fan, and one of my favorite Marx Brothers movies is Animal Crackers, and there's one scene where Groucho Marx and another actor, they're doing lines, and the other actor messes up, and Groucho Marx breaks character and looks at the camera, and he's like, can we get another actor to do this? Okay. And he just goes back, and they didn't edit it. But that was also made in like 1932 or 33. So they're just like, we don't have the money to shoot it again. I guess you got it.
This is just a whole new thing. Yeah, it's interesting with a lot of like early films. Well, yeah, especially like silent films. Like Edison made like his own adaptation of Frankenstein, and it's all done with wide shots. Like the concept of like, a tighter shot had not been invented yet.
Yeah.
Because we're still thinking like,
It's like the theater.
Exactly right.
It's like the stage.
Why wouldn't you want to see the entirety of? Well, it's also really expensive. So it's like, all right, we just shot that entire thing in a wide shot. Now let's get the close-ups, and the actors do the exact same thing over
They'd
and
be
over
like,
again.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Let's get some good over-the-shoulder shots. We'll get some pans, some tilts in there. No, they treated it like vaudeville.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any Marx Brothers movies?
A smattering. Yeah.
Which ones?
I don't remember the names.
Oh, for shame. See, when you're Jewish, there's a prereq that you have to like the Three Stooges, Marx Brothers, or both.
Oh, okay.
So my dad likes both, but I grew up with the Marx Brothers mainly, and watching Animal Crackers, Duck Soup, which is probably their most famous one, that has the mirror scene with it's a famous scene where Groucho is in like a nightgown and Harpo and Chico dress up like him.
Okay.
And when all of them are dressed like Groucho, you can't tell them apart. And he thinks he's looking at himself in a mirror, but it's him and Harpo, and they just like do this full thing. It's famous, I tell you.
All right,
You've seen it before.
Okay. Yeah. It's I'm sure it's all in the public domain and is free to view in multiple different platforms.
And Monkey Business. Great.
On the subject of that classic, like almost like vaudeville style comedy, is a film that you and I both adore. The relatively new film, Hundreds of Tweeters.
Yup.
Directed by Mike Chislick and starring
Cole Tucson. He has like 4 names, and he's wonderful.
Yeah.
As Jean Kayak.
Right. Yeah. And if you haven't seen it, it's a black and white film, essentially like a silent film, although music and sound effects definitely add to.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, but there's so much physicality, so much physical humor, fun expressions. like sped up footage, the fisticuffs, all this kind of like classic humor where it's just like it's brought back to like the basics of what makes a comedy on film great.
Basically live action Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And with good setup and payoff and payoffs, plural, and just they go all in and own it, and that's the lovely thing about it.
But it's not dumb. It does reward the audience for paying attention, and I think it is a smart film. I think it's just, if you just see like a scene, you might say like, well, this is absurd. Like, why would I watch 2 hours of that? But it is smarter than it seems. Yeah, and it's definitely made by, I know the filmmakers are just like, we're just a bunch of drunks from Michigan. but there's clearly like a lot of thought put into it.
There's a lot of heart.
Yeah.
What's the funniest movie you've ever seen?
Funniest movie? Well, I do want to talk about Monty Python.
Well, of course.
When we talk about television.
Okay, yeah.
But I have to go back to Holy Grail. I think that is the Holy Grail of comedies.
It's so good. Even though actually Meaning of Life has become my favorite.
Well, that's more like their show where it's just like there's Holy Grail and Life of Brian have an overarching narrative.
Yeah.
And you could say there's something similar happening in The Meaning of Life, but it really is like more like separate vignettes.
I think they were just like, we wanted an excuse to like put a bunch of random stuff together. So they're like, what is it? Phase 1, birth. Phase 2, school. And some of them really have nothing to do with each other, but it's so good.
Thematically, it's all connected, but yeah, and clearly like they're all playing all of the characters.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
and to go back to Shakespeare, like a lot of cross-dressing.
Yeah.
Even though they did have a female member.
Carol Cleveland.
Cleveland, right.
I loved Carol Cleveland and Connie Booth on occasion. I think she was married to John Cleese, but Carol Cleveland was like hilarious.
Cool.
I loved her.
But that and like the little vignettes of like the animation from American, Terry Gilliam, it's so unique.
Brave Sir Robin ran away, bravely ran away.
I never.
When danger ruled its ugly head, he simply turned his tail.
And for the longest period of time, and you know this because you play Dungeons & Dragons with us, but like, and it was even worse in the 80s, as you can imagine, where like any kind of circumstance that invited a player or even the dungeon master to quote Monty Python and the Holy Grail, it would just jumped on that chance.
Oh, yeah.
Like if there was a strategic retreat from the audience, run away!
It's a present. Oh, un cadeau. What? A present. Oh, un cadeau. Like one of my favorite exchanges, it's right before they do the Camelot song, when they're just galloping, and Sir Bedivere goes, "And that, my liege, is how we know the earth to be banana-shaped." And Arthur goes, "Well, this new study amazes me, Bedivere. Explain once more how sheep's bladders may be employed to prevent earthquakes." And it's like, why is that? They're like throwaway lines, but they're just so good.
Because it's smart because they're referencing real world like folklore and history, but also the humor is dry, but it's also absurd. And like that alchemical mix of comedy, I don't know, it just, I think it's either you get it or you don't. Like much like Hundreds of Beavers, where like I understand like if someone starts watching it and they just don't get it. Like I don't.
Or they're just like, oh, it's fine, and I'm like, oh.
Just on the topic of comedies, we've got Mel Brooks, who's of course a comedy master, and as of this recording, Spaceballs 2.
Spaceballs 2. Hopefully, it's top search for more money.
Is in pre-production, so something to look forward to.
Yeah, some of my favorites of his. Yeah, Spaceballs, History of the World Part 1, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, and Robin Hood Men in Tights, which you have to see again because it's been over 20 years since you last saw it.
I'll rewatch it as an adult.
It is gold. Okay. It is so good.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I will have watched all of Men in Tights and appreciated it for the true gem that it is.
You better.
I'm kidding. We're just pausing for like 30 seconds. See ya. Wasn't expecting you so soon.
It's not like I had anything else to do.
I didn't get your name. You said you didn't attend the showing yesterday?
No, I didn't attend your open house.
Anyhow, you're townies. That makes my job easier. I don't have to lay it on so heavy. How this area is our little secret.
About that, the marsh we passed on the way in, aren't we in a flood zone?
Base has been dumping munitions and fuel here for a while.
I see a light on. Do you have gas?
I didn't see a light.
Right there, in the basement. I see a light.
What you got there, hon?
Not really sure. Oh, what died?
You're so sensitive. It's just a little musty.
And we're back. I'm Jamie Horton, the host of Geeky Port, your safe harbor in the world of nerddom. With me is Maxie, and we are continuing and concluding our conversation about comedies.
Yeah.
We've tackled comedies in theater, on stage, and then we talked about film, and now we're going to be exploring television and streaming video.
Very cool. Very cool.
So,
You know, I don't know how much you know about I Love Lucy. Did you watch? Really? Because, one, not only was I Love Lucy very funny, still holds up, Desi Arnaz basically invented a lot of the very standard things in sitcoms that they do today. Filming in front of a television audience,
okay.
3 camera angles, not just doing...
Camera shoot.
I know, doing a 3 camera shoot, and he invented the rerun. Because when Lucy got pregnant, they're like, well, what are we going to do? And well, in the meantime, and he's like, just play old episodes until she's ready to film again. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was like,
Still exists.
how about and with a 3 camera setup, he's like, yeah, do 3 cameras so it's easier to edit together, not just one shot. So we have Desi Arnaz to thank for a lot of just stuff we take for granted in television.
Yeah, I get that. Like, we were talking about how, like early film was kind of like theater, but like when you're shooting a comedy for television and you have a live audience, then because we've talked about this before, because we're part of a comedy troupe, Improv Cape Cod, like Sharon Sub,
Humble brag.
that comedy, that laughter is infectious. So I think when you hear the audience from the comfort of your own home, when you hear an audience laughing at the jokes on a television show, I think that kind of loosens people up to laugh in the comfort of their own living room.
It does, but it's really interesting. Some of the great, like really good TV comedies that don't have an audience or a laugh track, like you love Community. Arrested Development, one of the best sitcoms ever, didn't have an audience. Letterkenny, hilarious, doesn't have an audience.
Yeah, I think that's more of like filmed, almost like cinematic style.
Yeah.
It's interesting that like comedy has really like found its haven on television. Like, it's very rare to like go out to like a movie theater nowadays and watch a comedy.
Yeah, I think one of the last ones there was Anyone But You, which was an updated retelling, oddly enough, of Much Ado About Nothing. And that was in theaters, and it was fine. And then that went to streaming, but that's like the last comedy I can think of that was like advertised in theaters.
Growing up, my first exposure to like adult comedy was, and I don't want to talk about this too much because we've already covered it in the other segment, but Monty Python, their series was Monty Python's Flying Circus, which was, I think it was like a half hour, an hour show, but it was like separate sketches. It was a sketch comedy show. So what kind of like, and I was just a child in like the late 70s when they played these on PBS, but like I was immediately struck by like how like bizarre they were.
And they don't have a punchline at the end. They just like go into a cartoon and then it transitions into the next sketch.
And I would say that it is one of the most influential comedies on television because, especially in terms of like sketch comedy, like I don't think we would have like SNL in the same form were it not for the success of Monty Python in the 70s and then, the reruns throughout the 80s. Because it really was like, and that was performed before an audience. And there was stuff that they shot like on film.
Yeah, like Hell's Grannies. Instead of Hell's Angels, it was like a thing of a group of grannies who just like beat people up and drank tea, and that's all they cared about. That and Upper Class Twit of the Year.
Yes.
I like that one.
Ministry of Silly Walks.
Yes. And one of my other favorites, The Semaphore Wuthering Heights.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the flag language, and it's like Terry Jones and Carol Cleveland just being like, oh, Catherine, oh, Heathcliff, we can't go on like this. And it's just so ridiculous, but it's just a good idea.
But it's so set apart from like American comedy at the time. I know they shot it in England, but it's but like you would have had to have known what Wuthering Heights is and what Semaphore is.
Yeah.
For even to make sense.
Well, I mean,
it's just
also
the absurdity of joining those two concepts.
Well, because all of them went to like Cambridge and Oxford. In Life of Brian, when Brian's trying to vandalize like a thing saying Romans go home, and the guard stops him, and he's like, what does that say? And he writes in Latin, like, he tries to say Romans go home, and he goes, doesn't say that. What is that? He's like, what tense is that? And it becomes like a Latin class. Be like, no, you're commanding, so that's an imperative. So what is it? E. No, but it's plural. Ite. Very good. I enjoyed that.
The subversion of expectations, where it's just like you think it's going this conflict is going to build to violence, but no, it just becomes a Latin lesson.
Yeah, it's so good.
Love that kind of stuff. So television comedies, what are some of your favorites? I'm a big fan of Community.
Yes. Arrested Development, I still say one of the best sitcoms. South Park, I watch almost every day. Seasons 4 through 13, core South Park. Family Guy. Letterkenny, I mentioned before. Seinfeld, and Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is wonderful. And that isn't even written. They do like an outline story, and then they improvise the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it's similar comedy, of course, to Seinfeld, but it's like they could get away with more on, what was it now, on HBO?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's,
They can drop several F-bombs and talk about all kinds of stuff. It's wonderful. Make fun of people, and Larry gets into all kinds of hijinks.
It's cool to see like these pioneers of like, not like even genres or subgenres, but like when someone can like make a comedy seem like new and fresh and exciting, it would be too easy to just recycle old jokes or to copy what other people have done. Even masters of their craft, it's like you definitely want to see and hear something new, and I think that's one of the hallmarks of great comedy. Like, show me something that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
I think we've run the course of our episode.
Oh my, there's so much more to talk about, so much funny stuff.
But we'll be back next month for another exciting episode of Geeky Port.